A major development in one of the most politically charged events of the Obama administration was announced on Friday. The Justice Department has arrested a suspect accused of participating in the deadly terrorist attack on the United States diplomatic compound in Benghazi, Libya, in 2012. The arrest comes more than 14 years after the attack that killed 4 Americans and became a flashpoint in American politics for years. Attorney General Pam Bondi announced the arrest during a press conference at the Department of Justice headquarters in Washington. She was joined by FBI Director Kash Patel and Jeanine Pirro, the United States Attorney for the District of Columbia. Bondi stated that the FBI had arrested one of the key participants behind the Benghazi attack and emphasized that the government has never forgotten the victims and has never stopped seeking justice. The suspect was identified as Zubayr al-Bakoush. According to Bondi, he arrived at Joint Base Andrews in Maryland at 3 a.m. on Friday morning after being extradited to the United States. He will face charges related to murder, terrorism, and arson, among others. Bondi stated that al-Bakoush will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. The attack occurred on September 11, 2012, exactly 11 years after the terrorist attacks on the World Trade Center in New York. Armed militants stormed 2 United States facilities in Benghazi, a diplomatic compound where the special mission was located, and a nearby CIA annex approximately 1 mile away. The assault resulted in the deaths of 4 Americans, Ambassador Christopher Stevens, State Department Information Management Officer Sean Smith, and 2 CIA contractors who were former Navy SEALs, Tyrone Woods and Glen Doherty. According to the unsealed indictment, al-Bakoush was part of a group of approximately 20 militants who attacked the U.S. Special Mission compound. Prosecutors allege that the group breached the main gate and set fire to several buildings. Ambassador Stevens and Sean Smith were killed in the initial attack on the compound. Al-Bakoush is accused of entering the compound after the fires were set, conducting surveillance activity in specific areas, and attempting to break into vehicles belonging to mission staff. A subsequent mortar attack on the CIA annex killed Woods and Doherty, who were defending the facility. The indictment does not specify whether al-Bakoush participated in that second attack, but prosecutors stated he was a key participant in the overall operation. Jeanine Pirro, who will prosecute the case, confirmed that al-Bakoush faces an 8-count indictment. The charges include murder for the deaths of Stevens and Smith, attempted murder of State Department Special Agent Scott Wickland, terrorism-related offenses, and arson. The details of how al-Bakoush was located and apprehended were not fully disclosed. FBI Director Kash Patel stated that the Bureau conducted a foreign transfer of custody, but provided limited information about when, where, or how the arrest occurred. Officials confirmed only that al-Bakoush was picked up overseas and transported to the United States. The State Department and CIA worked with the FBI to track down and arrest the suspect, according to Bondi. Court records show that al-Bakoush was first charged in a sealed complaint in 2015, 3 years after the attack. That complaint remained sealed for 11 years until it was unsealed on Friday following his arrest. In November of 2025, a federal grand jury returned an indictment against him, which was also kept sealed until his extradition. The extended period during which these charges remained sealed suggests ongoing investigative efforts and diplomatic negotiations to secure his capture. During the press conference, Attorney General Bondi made a pointed reference to former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. Bondi stated that Hillary Clinton famously once said about Benghazi, "What difference at this point does it make?" Bondi then added, "Well, it makes a difference to Donald Trump." This was a direct reference to Clinton's testimony before Congress in January 2013, during which she responded emotionally to questioning about the initial explanations for the attack. The political context surrounding the Benghazi attack has been contentious since it occurred. In the immediate aftermath, the Obama administration initially suggested that the assault was a spontaneous protest that escalated, possibly triggered by an anti-Islamic video that had sparked demonstrations elsewhere. This explanation was later determined to be incorrect, and it became clear the attack was a pre-planned terrorist operation carried out by the militant group Ansar al-Sharia. The discrepancy between the initial public statements and the actual nature of the attack became a major political issue. Republicans accused the Obama administration of misleading the public about what happened, particularly in the weeks leading up to the 2012 presidential election. Hillary Clinton, as Secretary of State at the time, faced intense scrutiny over the security arrangements at the Benghazi compound and the administration's response to the attack. Clinton testified before Congress multiple times about Benghazi. During a January 2013 Senate hearing, she became visibly frustrated when questioned about why the administration initially blamed the attack on a protest over a video. She responded by saying, "What difference at this point does it make?" referring to the motives of the attackers versus the need to focus on preventing future attacks. That statement became a rallying point for Clinton's critics and was used extensively in political attacks against her, particularly during her presidential campaign in 2016. The Benghazi attack and its aftermath were the subject of multiple congressional investigations. A House Republican report in 2016 faulted the Obama administration for a slow response and inadequate security at the diplomatic outpost. However, that report found no new evidence of wrongdoing by Clinton specifically, though it was highly critical of the State Department's security posture. Democrats on the committee accused Republicans of using the investigation for political purposes. The attack itself occurred in the context of Libya's collapse into chaos following the 2011 intervention by NATO forces, which was strongly supported by the United States. The military operation aimed at protecting civilians during the Libyan uprising against longtime dictator Muammar Gaddafi resulted in Gaddafi's overthrow and death. However, the country subsequently descended into civil war, with various militias and extremist groups filling the power vacuum. The U.S. diplomatic presence in Benghazi was established to maintain contact with opposition groups and monitor the volatile security situation in eastern Libya. The compound where Ambassador Stevens was staying was not a traditional embassy but rather a temporary mission with less robust security infrastructure. Requests for additional security resources had been made prior to the attack, but those requests were not fully approved, a decision that became a major point of criticism. On the night of September 11, 2012, Ambassador Stevens was meeting with a Turkish diplomat at the Special Mission compound. After the Turkish official departed, armed militants began their assault. The attackers used rocket-propelled grenades and set fires throughout the compound. Security personnel and mission staff attempted to evacuate, but Ambassador Stevens and Sean Smith were overcome by smoke and died in one of the burning buildings. Meanwhile, a security team from the CIA annex, located about a mile away, responded to the attack. Tyrone Woods and Glen Doherty were part of that team. After helping evacuate survivors from the Special Mission compound to the CIA annex, the annex itself came under mortar attack. Woods and Doherty were killed by mortar fire on the roof of the annex building where they had taken up defensive positions. The attack lasted several hours, and there has been ongoing debate about whether additional military assets could have been deployed in time to make a difference. The nearest U.S. military forces were several hours away, and commanders determined that they could not reach Benghazi before the attack concluded. Critics have argued that more should have been attempted, while defenders of the administration's response maintain that the decision was based on realistic assessments of what was possible given the distances and timeframes involved. In the years following the attack, several individuals connected to Ansar al-Sharia were captured or killed. Ahmed Abu Khatala, described as a ringleader of the attack, was captured in 2014 and brought to the United States. He was convicted in 2017 on terrorism charges, though he was acquitted of murder. Another suspect, Mustafa al-Imam, was captured in 2017 and later convicted. The arrest of al-Bakoush adds to the list of those held accountable, though Pirro stated that more individuals responsible for the killings remain at large. Bondi emphasized during Friday's press conference that the Justice Department will continue pursuing those responsible. She stated that the investigation is ongoing and that the government will not stop hunting for additional suspects. This suggests that intelligence and law enforcement agencies maintain active leads on other participants in the attack and are working with foreign partners to locate and apprehend them. One detail that received less attention in the immediate coverage is the role of international cooperation in securing al-Bakoush's arrest. Libya remains deeply fractured, with competing governments and militias controlling different parts of the country. Arresting someone in that environment requires coordination with local actors who may have shifting allegiances and competing interests. The fact that al-Bakoush was successfully apprehended and extradited indicates that diplomatic and intelligence channels remained functional despite the challenging conditions. The timing of the announcement is also noteworthy. Attorney General Bondi has been in office for less than a month, having been confirmed in January 2026. FBI Director Kash Patel was also recently appointed. During the press conference, Bondi stated that from day one, Patel had been adamant about pursuing the Benghazi suspects, saying, "We're going to get them." The successful arrest provides an early high-profile achievement for the new leadership at the Justice Department and FBI. The political dimensions of the announcement are impossible to ignore. By directly invoking Hillary Clinton's controversial statement and emphasizing President Trump's commitment to justice for Benghazi victims, Bondi framed the arrest as a vindication of long-standing Republican criticism of the Obama administration's handling of the attack. This messaging is consistent with the Trump administration's broader approach of contrasting its policies and priorities with those of previous Democratic administrations. For the families of the victims, the arrest represents a measure of accountability after years of waiting. Bondi stated that she had informed the surviving family members of al-Bakoush's capture ahead of the public announcement. The loss of Ambassador Stevens, Sean Smith, Tyrone Woods, and Glen Doherty left lasting impacts on their loved ones, and each development in the ongoing pursuit of those responsible has been closely watched by the families. The legal proceedings against al-Bakoush will unfold in federal court in the District of Columbia, where Janine Pirro's office will handle the prosecution. Given the high-profile nature of the case and its political history, the trial is likely to receive significant media attention. The prosecution will need to present evidence linking al-Bakoush specifically to the crimes charged, which may include witness testimony, surveillance footage, communications intercepts, and forensic evidence collected from the scene. Defense attorneys will likely challenge the evidence and may raise questions about the circumstances of al-Bakoush's arrest and extradition. In previous Benghazi-related cases, defense teams have argued that their clients were not present at the attack or were not involved in the violence, even if they were in the vicinity. The government will bear the burden of proving beyond a reasonable doubt that al-Bakoush committed the specific acts alleged in the indictment. The broader significance of this arrest extends beyond the individual case. It demonstrates that even after more than a decade, the U.S. government maintains the capacity and determination to pursue individuals accused of attacking American personnel and facilities overseas. This sends a message intended to deter future attacks by showing that accountability, while sometimes delayed, will ultimately be pursued. The case also highlights the ongoing challenges of operating diplomatic missions in unstable regions. The lessons learned from Benghazi have influenced security protocols at U.S. facilities worldwide, with increased emphasis on threat assessments, physical security measures, and rapid response capabilities. The State Department and other agencies have implemented reforms aimed at preventing similar tragedies, though the fundamental tension between maintaining diplomatic presence in dangerous areas and ensuring personnel safety remains. As the legal process moves forward, additional details about al-Bakoush's alleged role and the evidence against him will likely emerge through court filings and proceedings. The Justice Department's assertion that he was a key participant suggests they believe he played a significant role beyond simply being present at the scene. The specific evidence supporting that characterization will be crucial to the prosecution's case. The announcement also serves as a reminder of the enduring impact of the Benghazi attack on American politics and foreign policy. More than 14 years after the event, it remains a touchstone for debates about military intervention, diplomatic security, government transparency, and political accountability. The arrest of another suspect ensures that these discussions will continue as the case proceeds through the criminal justice system. If you found this breaking news important, make sure you're subscribed to Capital Pulse so you never miss critical political developments like this. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you're alerted the moment major stories break. This arrest took 14 years, but justice was finally served. Let us know in the comments what you think about Pam Bondi's direct attack on Hillary Clinton's infamous statement. Do you believe more suspects will be caught? Share your thoughts below. And if you think this story deserves more attention, hit the like button and share this video. Stay informed, stay engaged, and we'll see you in the next breaking news update.